vertical. The horizontal. Actually, I did. Yeah.
Alright, so this is my sister right here, Bianca.
Yep.
You want to introduce yourself?
No, you introduce me. Give me a long, lengthy, set
right.
it up for the alley hoop,
What you mean? Like, this is my sister.
Yeah, I'm going to
And then you
bed.
like, hey,
Tell the people about me.
This is my sister visiting from...
Were you visiting from Oregon?
Another state?
Yes.
This is my sister visiting from Oregon. Last time we seen each other was like 7 years ago. She just came through. We're in New Orleans. Well, we're not in New Orleans.
We're close. We're near.
Yeah.
It's none of your business.
So, how life been?
Life's been good.
What you been doing?
School, finishing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Psychology.
That's the study of the human brain.
The mind. Yep.
What you study, like books or people?
Both. People.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which you prefer, people over the books?
Well, in the books it talks about people and why they do what they do.
Do you spend a lot of time around people?
Yes and no.
Elaborate.
I knew he was going to say that. Yes, when I want to, and most of the time, no.
Okay.
So, during certain events or things that I have throughout the week, I do, but I'm intentional about where I go and why I'm going and doing what I'm doing. Because, people are people.
Yeah, what make you want to study psychology?
Because I wanted to be a counselor. And then my last year, my teacher told me I needed my master's to be one.
A counselor in what aspect? Like school, college, or like?
Working with kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like helping kids like in a process of growing?
Yeah.
So you more like a mother type figure?
I guess. Nurturing. It's just something women have.
Okay, for sure.
Son.
So what's your goals?
Son.
What's your goals in the process? Like what you looking to do? That's work with kids?
See, that's what everyone asks me is what do I want to do?
I feel like it's very versatile.
Yeah, so psychology is one of those degrees where it's like you can use it in anything. So whether it's like marketing and advertising, because it's like there's buyer psychology if it's working with people, whether it's children or adults, because children have their own things, but adults are just grown children dealing with things from childhood. And then so it can go, you can use psychology, or if it's like HR or management, so it's diverse.
You must be like a very understanding person, being capable of communicating with everybody and accepting them for who they is whenever they bringing something to you.
That took a long way to get there. Accept people for where they're at and not who you think that you want them to be.
Yeah. Accepting people for who they is.
Yeah, and when people show you who they are, believe them. Otherwise, you're going to get bamboozled.
Okay.
And I have been bamboozled.
Okay. I mean, experience.
Those who get it.
Experience is the best lesson to learn.
Yes, but in life, you don't have to experience everything because life is too short. So sometimes you just have to take heed to what other people before you have gone through.
Yeah.
So you don't have to sit there and go through it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes life has to teach you, and that's sometimes the greatest lesson if you're too hard-headed. And I've been hard-headed, so when I see people who are, it's just like I understand.
So when you dealing with people, like what kind of like what point do you try to get them at when you communicating with them? How do you try to help them? What's your methods that you use to try to help somebody based off of what they bring to you?
Well, some people don't want help. Sometimes people just want a listening ear.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes just asking that question, do you want help?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you just want a listening ear? Because sometimes people just need that and they don't have that in their life.
So you be establishing resources for people, helping that any way you can, and being a listening ear.
Because sometimes I might not be I'm a resource. I tell people I am a resource. I think we all are in some facet in life.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the source, which is God. So at the end of the day, it's like a person has to want to for themselves before you can want something for them. Because if they don't want something, then you can want as much as you want for somebody if they don't for self. Yeah.
Okay.
But you can see that in them and you can pull that out of them, and then eventually they'll get it.
Mm-hmm. So with you being so selfless and helping other people, like, what's your source? What keep you pushing and going in your journey?
God.
Okay, so you got a good connection and establishment with God.
Yeah.
Okay, how was that journey?
Ooh wee. A journey. Way back what? Probably around Zoe's age. My grandfather used to pick me up at my mom's house. So he used to pick me up from Portland, Oregon, and then drive to church. And then it was just something about him. I was just like, he just always has this light and this joy, and I want what he has, and I didn't know what it was. But in between that, I also was blessed with a best friend who was walking in her faith, and I think it was heaven sent because the school I was going to was closing down, so we had pen pals. And I always tell her till this day, I've known her since 2nd grade, that she was an angel sent in my life because I got to see a healthy, wholesome household in the midst of, not living in one myself.
That's valuable.
Yeah, and so I got to see that, and then my grandfather would just continuously pick me up and all that, and then I don't know, I used to be a bitter, angry, cold-hearted, slick-witted, bad mouth, bad attitude. Like, I can keep going on and on and on. A hurt person who was just hurting those around me. And then eventually, like, after going over and over and over, it was like on Father's Day when I got saved. And my thing is like,
Of what year?
I don't know the exact year. I was around like 12. That's why I said around Zoe's age. So that was, 12? I'm 27. So 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago. Yeah, and that pretty much my testimony is simply like, by me not having our Father in my life, I leaned on my Heavenly Father, and that is a big blessing in disguise. And down the road, years later, reconnected and established that relationship and meeting you guys in person. And yeah.
Congratulations. I want to let you know, like, that's a very strong characteristic to have as a woman.
What?
Like, your faith and integrity, without having a stable support system from a father.
But that's the thing too, is like God will bless you in different ways. So it's like he blessed me with my grandfather, and I also have cousins who like stepped up, and they filled that gap because my mom was a single mom and it took a village, so it wasn't just her by herself, but it was my coaches, my mentors, like my teachers.
Yeah.
All of them.
Take a village, and you had that.
Yeah.
And you pulled it from different resources.
And it's like someone always had their eyes on me. So
that's good.
Yeah.
So what you saying, when you had your grandfather around when you was 12 and you saw what he had, and it kind of inspired and opened your mind up to a new insight, you grew up like a curious person. Like,
yes.
Always wanting to learn and understand more.
Yeah, like doing what you're doing, and ask a lot of questions. Like, I've been like that since I was really young. I always say, like, the moment that you think you know everything is the moment that you know nothing. So always be a student in life. Because
you want to make that the moral of the story?
Huh?
You want to make that the moral of the story?
Sure.
All right, for sure. You got it. You see? Yeah. So, with you growing up in Oregon, how is life in Oregon? Like, how is it?
You get all 4 seasons.
It's snow?
Yeah, and if you want to go to the mountain and go like snowboarding or inner tubing, it's only like 2 hours away. If you want to go to the river, it's like 15 minutes. If you want to go to on a walk or hike around a lake, it's like 10 minutes.
That sounds fire.
Yeah, like it's accessible to everything. If you want to go hunting, if you want to go fishing.
They got just about everything.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's not flat like down here. There's lots of mountains and all that. Yeah.
So what you like most about it? Like, and what's your hobbies as well too? When you're not doing what you gotta do, like career and occupation wise, what you do on your free time?
What do I like to do hobby wise? I like going to the gym, spending time with friends, going on walks and hikes.
Do you spend a lot of time alone, or do you have like an associate, a friend? You got people you spend a lot of time with, or do you
I
like?
think it's a balance. Yeah, like if I were to like run through like what my week looks like I mean, I wake up really early, typically before the sun rises. I go to morning prayer. I pick up my grandpa. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays when I'm not in school, but once I go back, I'll just do Tuesdays and Saturdays, and then Wednesdays I normally do Bible study.
What I've noticed is you mentioning specific days like Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, so you got a schedule set in place.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if you don't tell your time if you don't tell yourself what to do with your time, then time will just go by.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like I've always been really structured and organized, but allowing room for flow. So it's like most people want to fill their schedule with everything, and that's how I used to be, like to the point like career-wise where I didn't even have time to eat, and I was like scarfing down food just in the middle of meetings and turning off my camera. And now I've realized like it's not about filling your schedule, but putting things on your calendar that matter. So like for instance, like family and making memories and quality time for me is so important. So like that's another thing. I'll spend time with my nephews and stuff out there. So like even though I'm not here for a long time, like maximizing the short amount of time and the short window that I have, because at the end of the day, like moments are memories.
You're an opportunist. You create opportunities for yourself to do what you need to do and take care of your life.
Yeah. You
That's
make
great.
time. Like, and when people say they don't have time, no, it's just you're choosing not to make time for what you want. Because everyone has time.
Yeah.
And the more like you're unapologetic and don't like make yourself accessible to everything, like learning to say yes less and no more, that's like something that I took time to do because I understand the importance of time, because like all you have is today. Yeah
it sounds like you very structured and organized within what you got going on in life.
Yeah, because the capacity is just gonna get bigger. As a woman, our capacity only gets bigger. Not that it doesn't as a man, but I can only speak from a woman's perspective.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for, is your perspective.
Yeah.
So what people do you have around you to look in reference to growing? What type of things inspire you?
What kind of things inspire me?
To push beyond the boundaries you know you're capable of.
Not seeing it being done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
So you just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Go as hard as you can.
I wouldn't say as hard as I can, but not rushing the process and enjoying the journey. But like knowing what I want, not tied to when. I think that's one thing that I'm still learning and I have learned is like, okay, just because you say by a certain time X, Y, and Z, like what good is it achieving that if you're not enjoying the journey of getting there.
Right.
You
So
know
you
what I mean?
enjoying yourself in the process. You pacing yourself.
Yeah, but before I wasn't like that. I was like, I want to do this by this age, this by this age, but it's like, okay, you do that and then what? Like, okay, you check something off the box and what good is that if you didn't enjoy the process during the time and then like making memories and living life through it? I think it's like, I don't know, for some people that's how they move. For me, that doesn't work for me anymore. There's different things that I've done at a young age to where I've learned what most it takes a lifetime, like being in a career that they absolutely hate and all of that, just to climb a corporate ladder, to realize that they don't want it but then stay in it. And it's like, I'm not gonna do that. I'll just pivot. I think pivoting is essential.
Do you feel like that's what made grandfather so happy? Him having that understanding that you got now?
What do you mean?
Like when you say every day he was always happy, enjoying himself, not really worrying about stuff.
Yeah. Like he handled what he had to. And like I think one thing from my grandfather that I love the most is like his relationships with people. Like he nurtured so many relationships, specifically like in the community, because he was an entrepreneur. Like he started as a bag boy because he got in trouble in high school, and then the store he started working at, then he climbed up in management early on, and then he started managing like a whole entire like district and region. But he has so many relationships and impacted so many people in the midst of what he was doing, and that was one of the questions I asked him. I was like, what was it about running grocery stores that you love most? And he said, the people. And like now with what he's laid before me, like I'm in spaces and stuff that he's laid the foundation for. And then now they're like, oh, I remember your grandpa, he did this way back when, and we go way back. And I get to hear stories without, he's still here today, but like without him being in the presence and hearing other people speak on that, like that's his legacy being left behind.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like, energy doesn't die, it literally transfers. So, yeah. And people always remember truly how you make them feel. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any words of wisdom other than what you presented today? Thanks for your time.
You're
it's
welcome.
very valuable.
Thank
that you want to let the viewers know.
I guess just take one day at a time. Why are you started it?
Cause that's like the effect when you're supposed to tune in and then.
Yeah, just take one day at a time. And in the world, you know, there's this like rat race of getting to and running to, enjoying like the here and now, and not focusing on being perfect, but just making progress. And if you focus on 1% each day, you'll be 365 times the person you are a year from now.
Lord, that was good. That was good. Alright, so this concludes the video with Made to Go Mally and
I'm Bianca J. Malone.
she doing. See you on the next video.